All
is
right.
perfect.
Good, good, good.
Have you been practicing or not?
Yeah. We're in the gym.
Both boxing and dancing, or?
Yeah, not so much dancing. We're still dancing, and we're going to start picking it up a little bit,
Mm, mm.
just to get down, just try to get in a little bit more better dancing shape. But we're boxing maybe 3 times a week.
With Arvid and Flaco,
Yeah, and Flaco too.
other
Yeah.
dancers?
Jürgen, Funky Fiddler,
Yeah, the guy who plays
trombone.
trombone. Yeah,
Yeah.
is practicing too.
Yeah, he started practicing too, and he's really good. He's getting it. Yeah.
But you restart with boxing like a few years ago because during a long time you stopped, or not at all. It's just a wrong
No,
idea that I have.
no. But I never really stopped boxing. I train other people, and maybe 2 years ago I started a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
training.
Mm.
Maybe back in the days it was maybe once a week, once every second week. But now I really try to go to the gym. Maybe 3, 4 times a week.
Yeah, I was trying to remember if you start first dancing or first boxing.
hmm I started dancing first.
Dancing first.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when you then when you tried boxing, did you felt that it was easier for you than like a regular guy because you were dancing already, or it didn't change much?
No, I felt that I picked up boxing pretty quick because of I've been dancing before. I played hockey, football, stuff like that. So I had kind of a body control for it, and I was really interested in boxing. So yeah, I picked it up really quick.
Man, when I came back almost 3 years ago to Portugal,
Mm,
and I started practicing with my brother again,
yeah.
it was like, man, try to be more relax.
Mm,
You're too stiff. Try to move exactly the way you dance. And I was like, what
yeah.
the fuck is happening with me? It was like a frustration for me because I'm used to control what I do, my movements.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in my mind, I was okay boxing because I
Mm,
did box like a long time ago, like I don't know,
yeah.
maybe already 20 years ago. And
Yeah.
then I stopped practicing, and then when I came back, I started practicing again with my brother, but just a little bit. And it was super. I don't know. I felt this frustration in me because I couldn't control the way I
Mm,
control when I dance.
mm,
So, but I was wondering because for me it made a difference, being a guy with a martial arts background,
mm.
but more in the discipline side,
Yeah,
more
for
in
sure.
the state of mind.
Mm.
I don't know if you felt that compared to other people or the dancers, if you felt like a benefit as a dancer because you're boxing, and if you feel a benefit as a boxer because you're dancing.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. The components in boxing and dancing are so similar. We talk about speed, we talk about timing, we talk about balance, we talk about rhythm and flow. Um, so the components are really similar. And I know that my dancing helps me in my boxing.
Mm,
Different rhythms, different timings,
mm,
footwork,
mm,
movement.
mm.
Uh, it helped me a lot. And from the boxing, it helped me a lot in dancing, and especially in teaching, taking different um, um, like different exercises
Yeah,
from the
drills and stuff.
boxing
Yeah.
drills and stuff like that, to put that in the way of teaching locking and developing locking. So for me, both styles has helped so much. And
each other. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, each other. It's like a parallel system that's really combined, and I really like that.
That's super interesting, man. Because exactly when I came back, my brother asked me this question, like, how in just 1 hour we are like as dancers, as dance teachers, able
Mm,
to teach so many movements, because him as a boxing coach,
mm,
he struggled to do that. He just can
yeah.
like teach a few moves per class, and he asked me questions like, "What's your method? What should I do?" And that's super interesting uh, to hear about. I mean, just what you just said. Like for you, it
Mm,
was the opposite. You took some drills of boxing to use it in the dance classes.
mm.
That's crazy. But did you feel that like that is not easier, but I don't know. Just I was trying to give a logic to my brother's struggle. Actually,
Mm.
do you feel that like in boxing is harder to teach that many moves, or for you it's totally different, and I don't know, it's just like another system? And
Yeah, it's another system with the same base. What I mean with by base is the same mentality.
mm,
It comes from human development. If you really want to go deep, low into the thinking, it goes really like of human development.
mm,
And at the same time, you're teaching basics in locking or basics in boxing. You still want to help the person to develop,
mm.
and by developing their own mind, and it will definitely help in the techniques of whatever style, if it's boxing or locking.
But did you ever try to? I think my question was like, did you try the opposite, bringing dance methods to boxing classes?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I it the transition is not that easy that way around.
Mm,
It's a little bit more difficult because dancers, they want to develop. It's a spiritual thing. It's a something they live.
mm.
So they really want to learn. And so it's difficult to put exercises from the locking into the boxing. I've done it in sometimes I've tried it.
Mm,
Um, and it works out pretty good, but
mm.
I need to work a little bit on the system to find a better way so it suits the boxing training.
Yeah.
Because if you really interested in boxing, and you want to do fights and you want to develop, then it's easier to implement the way of thinking and some of the exercises from dancing into boxing.
Yeah, because when he asked me that, I was trying to think like, what like in what way could I help him
Mm,
um, to, I don't know, maybe to how can I say, to find a different structure that
yeah,
we use in dance, for him to be able to teach more movements, or to be more accurate in the way of teaching us moves.
yeah,
And I thought that maybe if he used like rhythm more,
mm, exactly, yeah,
just for them to have like something uh, like one more sense
mm,
to match with their moves, and not just
yeah,
like the vision, okay, or just the 1 2 3. They know that the two is here, the three is over there, and
mm,
maybe just like to catch a certain rhythm, maybe
yeah,
using music, or I don't know, just a count, maybe just a count,
for sure,
to try to help them to create a strict structure around the movement.
yeah,
That was my only idea, but then I don't know if you try it or not. So I
yeah,
was
yeah,
super curious, if you as a dancer, if you were using like dancing methods in your
mm,
boxing classes. But
yeah.
I never thought that you're using boxing methods in the dance classes, and I
Yeah,
find that super interesting. Do you have like
yeah.
any example or?
Well, uh, yeah. In boxing, you do a lot of couple exercises.
Mm.
Two and two people work together. So I took that element of, you know, doing a lot of couple exercises back and forth. And one thing in boxing that we do when we spar, we say sometimes you will have like a funny spar or a special sparring session
Mm.
where you can only use your left hand, for instance,
Mm.
or you can only use um, one or two punches. So by limiting yourself, you develop
True.
let's the thing that you can work on. If there's only two things that you can work on
Mm.
during a sparring session, you tend to develop those two things
Mm.
very, very good. And then when you go back and you add the other hand and all the other punches, you will develop your game,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one thing that we used. We call limited, but growing up by limited, something like that. So you limit yourself and you force yourself to use maybe, let's say, just rhythms,
Mm.
or
Mm.
easy example, if your weak arm is your left arm, or your
Mm.
weak arm is your right, you just work on that for
Mm.
maybe
Mm.
20 minutes. And you're going to find new ways of moving, and breaking patterns by limiting yourself and developing certain structures or movements,
Mm.
so to speak. So that is one thing that I took from boxing.
Yeah, it reminds me when Jimmy got his issue in his hip,
Mm, yeah.
and it was actually I think it was when he was judging the Juste Debout. He
Hmm.
was doing the Juste Debout tour. It was just after that, and I remember when he asked me like what I thought about this judge showcase and stuff.
Yeah.
I felt that he was getting better in a lot of details,
Mm,
that he grew like in small details that were making him more like stylish. I don't know,
yeah.
more. I
Yeah.
don't want to say funkier, but just more stylish. Like, and
Mm,
and it was because of his injury, because he
yeah.
couldn't do any more splits and knee drops and jumps, so he
Yeah.
was forced to grow in other stuff, in other details.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's exactly what I say to people when they got injury, or even as drills. One
Mm,
thing that I ask the most to my students is to use less points,
yeah.
because that's like that movement that comes like super easier to
Yeah.
catch accents, and when you don't know what to do, you just point all over.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so have you been watching some stuff, some battles, or did you saw some interesting stuff lately or not?
The latest thing that I saw on internet right now is the three guys from the um, Captain. What's the name? Captain
Crush.
Crush and the Funky
Funky
Bunch, something
Bunch,
like that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
saw that
Uh,
yesterday, I think. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Really nice stuff. Yeah, I try to watch some locking. Trying to find some new
When do you feel the more
people.
motivated? So when you find a new song, when you see some new shit around, like, I don't know, some.
I get motivated by music
Yeah.
mostly. Today mostly by music. I mean, of course, there's some good lockers and dancers out there that motivates me. But at this time and at this age, we're getting old, and we've seen a lot of stuff in all our styles, and we watched it for many years. So
Yeah.
you don't get that too impressed
No.
nowadays.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, but mostly by music. I know the thing that I really like is hearing a song for the first time. I never heard the song, but it really connects. It really hits me, and
Yeah.
becomes a song that okay, I'm gonna love this song for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That moment, it's yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
really
and
enjoy.
we were speaking with Pilok the other day, actually, in the podcast about Taurus, from
Yeah,
Dennis Coffey, because
yeah,
it's been like, I don't know, so many years that we didn't hear this song, and
mm,
we talk about it because Don passed,
mm,
and we thought about this idea of doing some kind of tribute, and the idea was me playing some songs that he
mm.
used to dance with, and we were speaking, and we said, yeah, of course, like Tribe Coke or
Oh yeah, yeah.
Taurus, and when I said Taurus, I was like, fuck, it's been a long time since I heard this. When I played, I was like, shit,
Mm, mm.
and I love that sensation too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When
Yeah, it's
you
amazing.
forget how amazing the song is,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really cool, man.
yeah,
It's really
yeah,
cool,
yeah. It is.
because finding new songs with that kind of power is super difficult.
Oh, it is. It's really difficult. It's something special. The music back in the days.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And when did you saw for the first time the originals? Because that's another thing that we spoke about it with Pilok, and it's true that after that everything was different for us.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The first time I saw the original Lockers was on Soul Train when they did the show on Soul Train. I bought a tape from one of the guys in Chain Reaction, Thomas T. Bopper. We bought the tape, the Underground Dance Masters, and that's when we saw the Lockers for the first time.
Mm.
And yeah, it was like, wow, this is locking. That was my first.
But
Uh,
you were locking already, right?
yeah, 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 yeah. I was locking already, but we didn't have the original style or the original information. Locking was still new. The way we saw locking in Sweden was a group called Out of Control from Denmark,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
and those were big influences for us. And the style that they have is called the London locking style.
Mm.
It's very nice. So that was the first
Locking
style.
farm in Europe, actually.
Yeah, 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 for
Yeah,
sure,
I think
for sure.
everybody. I don't. I mean, I was about to say everybody, but I'm not sure about French people. But I think most of the countries in Europe were influenced by them.
Yeah.
Actually, in the podcast that I did with Pilok,
Mm,
we were talking about the fact that lockers. I mean, not lockers, just the dance itself was not like we were not giving the right value to the dance, and we didn't really knew about it.
yeah,
What we saw was like a lot of breaking battles, and in those breaking battles, they had always a top dancer
mm,
who most of the time was popping and not
yeah,
really locking. Maybe they were, and the locking part were happening more like in the showcases.
yeah,
It was something cool to do in a showcase,
yeah,
and I said, yeah, that's true. And I cannot remember a single battle where I saw a good locking confrontation. But
yeah,
that's wrong, because I totally forgot I think it was the battle of the year, maybe 94 or
mm,
95,
mm,
when Out of Control won the third place,
yeah,
and it was like three top style dancers, and it was probably two lockers and one popper, and they
yeah,
just had like one b-boy,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and it was
yeah,
a really important locking moment in Europe.
yeah,
And
for sure.
I got really motivated, and it was a big influence for me.
Yeah, yeah, for
A-
sure.
Yeah, man. And another thing, man, that I wanted to talk with you is when I went to uh, the master camp.
Yeah.
You did this variation of the ritual that chain reaction used to do.
Mm.
You know, it was something like bam. No, no, you were doing this movement. You know, like
Yeah.
the both fists,
Yeah. Yeah.
boom, then back clap, something like that.
Yeah.
You remember that
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh, and I was like, and I think you said that it was from a chain reaction
Yeah. Yeah.
or something like that. But what I found really interesting is that at some point when we got uh, the information from the originals, we totally put aside the others' influence that we got and some
Yeah.
kind of European identity.
Yeah. For sure.
And there is a lot of cool stuff in
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool flavors and timing and rhythms. Yeah, it's really nice, and especially when I started and then when I saw Out of Control and Locksmith, Steen, Anthony, Warren, and I was blown away. It was really wow, this is so cool. It's a cool way of moving and grooving to it. But yeah, when we talk about locking, we tend mostly to talk about the lockers, but there's so many other individual people and groups that have done their part for the locking community. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man. Because I really think that what gives you, first of all, you need to have an identity.
yeah,
You need to have your own flavor.
yeah,
If you don't, you will never bring something to the game,
exactly.
and you will be forgotten forever.
Yeah,
So the way we used to learn before all, I was about to say all this internet stuff, but it was before that,
mm,
before locking was teach in classes, before there was like hip hop classes or breaking classes or whatever.
yeah,
We used to go to the jams or clubs or sessions.
mm,
You catch what you can with your eyes, then you go back home and you try to repeat what you
yeah,
remember. So
yeah,
obviously you had to do the things in your own way. And that's exactly what happened in Europe, because we saw a few movies.
yeah,
We had like a few movies like Flashdance, Breaking One and Two, Beat Street,
yeah,
and
yeah,
sometimes a few video clips with whatever Janet Jackson and other people. We had like small parts of locking in it,
yeah,
and then you didn't know nothing about it, and you were trying to copy some kind of style,
yeah, for sure.
and because of that, you're doing the things in some way in your way,
Yeah,
and I think that we should look at like the original form the right way, but
mm,
not forget the rest.
yeah, sure.
So I don't know. Did you totally stop doing your old style when you find out the original lockers, or did you keep on doing the moves that you were already doing?
No, I when I learned from Greg Campbell Jr. was the first guy that I met from the lockers. No, actually Don was the first. But Greg was the first guy that I had the time and privilege of training with and being taught by. So when I met him, I didn't say I was only doing the London style. I had developed, I don't know, some style of my own or way of moving. And then I met Greg, and yeah, he showed me the basics and names of stuff and moves. Uh, but you're always, in a process of adding new stuff, new flavors. And then after maybe 10, 15 years, you start to being comfortable in being you, and, expressing yourself, and, forming this mold of basics,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, uh, but I'm not saying I'm doing some of the London style moves, and grooves in my dancing. I like to add it. At the same time, I like some of the stuff that Chain Reaction taught us when we were there. They have some really good moves and timing and rhythm flavors going on. So I try to take some of that too into my dancing. And just because I like it, and I want to honor the style and keep it alive by using some of the moves and flavors.
Yeah, man. I think it's dope, and I think people shouldn't have this complex of um, trying to be 100% correct.
No,
And being correct, I think, is an illusion, actually.
no, for sure, for sure.
And
I mean,
yeah,
and it's also, in the eye of the beholder, correct for me is something else than correct for somebody else. It's different. So yeah.
and I think that those styles, because they happen in a natural way, they are
Mm,
not wrong. For me, the
yeah,
dance is still the same.
yeah.
It's locking. Point.
It
We are
is.
not trying to invent another dance or trying to get credit to do a variation of locking. We are not inventing anything. All that
No,
is bullshit. We are just dancing, and because we are like we are, because
yeah.
I'm small Portuguese or whatever, because I had like other influence in my life, I'm gonna
Mm,
move in another way. I'm
mm.
not trying to do a different dance. I'm doing
No,
locking, but
yeah,
I'm me.
exactly.
Me. And in the same way that the guys who try to locking first in London before us,
Yeah,
they were doing their shit.
yeah, for
I don't
sure.
think that's wrong. I mean, I
No,
don't know. It's just it's me. I don't know.
I mean, you talk the way you talk. You talk differently because you're from Portugal, or you hang out with these friends. So it's the same thing with dancing. We all dance different, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Now that we are talking about talking, the way we talk, that's
Yeah,
an approach that I use really often in my classes. When I
yeah,
try to explain shit, I use regularly how do you say comparison. I compare,
comparison.
yeah,
Compa-
I compare both, like
yeah,
the language, the way you talk, with
yeah,
the way you dance, with
yeah,
the
for
with
sure.
dance itself. For
Yeah,
example, if someone asks me like, what's the limit of locking, what or something like that,
mm,
what my answer usually is going to be, okay, let's pretend that locking it's Portuguese or Spanish or whatever, or English, whatever.
mm,
If you gonna compete in an English competition and you have like English judges, you can say
yeah,
whatever you want, the way you want. You can say all your shit. You can sing, you can go and tell a poem or whatever, but it needs to be in English.
yeah,
That's it. That's the only
mm,
rule.
mm,
And in another way, when they do too much stuff like quickly
yeah,
and you can understand shit, I try to remind them, like, if you read, or if there is like I don't know in English punctuations,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
all that, and you never stop reading, you say word after word with no stops, with no nothing,
yeah,
it's impossible to understand. So
yeah,
that's another example that I give a lot, is try to make some kind of punctuation in your dance, to
yeah,
stop sometimes, to you know try
yeah,
to create some kind of different dynamics.
yeah, for sure. And it's just the way you say, when people are talking. If they're just talking, 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 the brain gets tired after a while. And it's the same thing when you're dancing and just going. Your brain gets tired after a while, you know. So it's such a good comparison. I mean, if you listen to somebody talk a good story, and this guy can really talk and use the words, you just sit there and listen, and you enjoy it so much. And it's the same thing with dancing. If you see somebody that's telling a story and he has good technique, funk, and he stops and he flows and goes, you get interested, and you feel it more, and you want to watch it. It's the same thing. The
Yeah,
comparison is really good.
yeah, man. And you know what? The silence. When someone
Yeah,
is telling you a story, and they're gonna be like, and the guy took his weapon, and then he walked. If you don't pause
yeah,
after saying that the guy took his weapon,
yeah,
you're not giving space for the guy to picture in his mind the guy grabbing a weapon.
exactly.
And those kind of silence
Yeah,
uh, gives space to your imagination and gives lets your dance in this case being more readable. I don't know if
yeah.
the
No,
words exist.
yeah, yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, yeah. And it's coming back to when you hear somebody telling a good story, and in the middle of the story, it just takes a little bit of pause, and you're there waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and then he comes back to it's like, wow, cool story. It's the same thing with dancing. The pause, stop,
Mm.
hold it, let the people feel it, and imagine what's going to happen next. And yeah, you need to have all of that stuff.
Yeah, and that's also in music a definition of
Mm.
groove, because we talk a
Yeah,
lot, a lot, a lot of times about, yeah, you need to work on your groove or on your funk or whatever,
yeah,
those kind of abstract concepts, and people have no idea what groove is. And
yeah,
for musicians, groove is the silence between the notes.
yeah, yeah,
So it could be a good definition for dance also. At least it could help them to visualize how to use space and time.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Right, it's really good.
I've been watching. Have you been watching the boxing matches or not?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The last fight that I saw was Fury against Wilder. That was
Man.
the last fight. Yeah.
So tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Oh man, since I saw the first fight, I knew that going in the second fight that Tyson would destroy him. I knew it because he's much of a better of a boxer than Wilder. I mean, Wilder he can punch for sure. He can punch, and he's really dangerous. But Fury is so much more of a boxer, and and when I saw that he put on a lot of weight, it was a huge weight difference. Then I said, okay, he's not going to stand a chance against Fury now. So yeah, I was really happy for him.
Yeah, I really like it, but at the same time, I need to say that it's fucking unfair to suddenly, for most of the people, saying that, yeah, Wilder is nothing. He's not a boxer.
Yeah,
He doesn't know how to box. I think it's fucking unfair, because the guy was like what, 40-0,
yeah,
never lost
yeah,
a
yeah,
fight in his
yeah,
life.
yeah, for
Man,
sure.
that's unfair. Don't
Yeah,
don't abuse. It's the same thing that happened when Ronda lost against Holly Holm. Suddenly,
yeah,
no, Ronda was not that good, and man, she changed the game. So yeah, Fury is an amazing boxer, but what
yeah,
what
yeah.
what what I thought that was like in some way like magical is the fact that, from what people said, I don't know if it's true or not, but the
Mm,
fact that he discovered the way of beating Wilder in the last round of the first fight,
Mm.
because he got knocked out
Yeah.
and he had to advance.
Yeah.
He was not boxing the same way. The same way he was trying to win the round, so he was attacking more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and he realized um, that Wilder couldn't box backing up.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
So he was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna attack
Yeah.
this
I'm
time.
gonna. Yeah. I'm gonna pressure him.
That was crazy,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. That was crazy.
It takes a lot of balls to pressure someone like Wilder, because you know that
Oh.
it takes just one punch.
Oh yeah. 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 He hit so hard. He hit so hard.
But you as a
Yeah.
boxing coach, do you really think that Wilder is not a good boxer at all, or?
No. 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 Of course he can box. I wouldn't say that he's a good boxer. But of course he can box. He can throw punches. He knows the basics, the 1-2, the uppercuts. He knows everything. Uh, but he started boxing pretty late,
Yeah,
and I don't know if that has something to do with it, or it's like I call it the Roy Jones effect. Roy Jones was a very good boxer. He was very fast.
yeah,
The timing was amazing. The strength that he had became his weakness when he lost the strength, because he was so fast. He was so much faster than everybody else that they couldn't stand a chance. And
yeah.
of course he could box,
Hmm.
but when he slowed down in speed and timing, he didn't have the original boxing foundation, like for instance, Terence Crawford or Floyd Mayweather had. They had pure boxing background and basics, and he didn't. He had it, but he wasn't that good. His defense wasn't that good. So when he lost the powers, he wasn't that good anymore. So what happened with Wilder is, okay, he knocked all of these guys out, and you can't take that away from him. And you can't just knock all of these guys out by just having raw power. You have to know how to box. So he can box. But if you take away the boxing, if you take away the power, if you know how to defend from his right hand, if you can take his right hand, you take his superpower away, and if you're a better boxer, then you will beat him. So that's what I believe, and that's what I believe happened with Fury, and of course the attacking game that he had. It was a good strategy from his side.
Yeah, man. I was listening to you and I was wondering, because what you said is like that Roy Jones Jr. didn't have tools enough to have like a long term career.
Yeah, yeah,
That he needed more to stay
more
longer in the
tools.
game. Yeah, more tools.
Yeah,
So do you think that in some way this can also happen in dance, or do you think it's just about that, or it thinks because that's true at some point even the motivation is not the same anymore.
yeah,
You are not gonna be like doing battles all your life and trying to win this and that competition. And we see a different. Actually, I was watching some old videos of mine,
yeah,
and man, all the tricks that I was doing, some dope shit, man, that I
yeah,
totally forgot.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was like, shit, why I'm not dancing like that anymore? Why I'm not trying those? And I don't feel the need actually to do tricks
No, yeah,
nowadays. But I know in some way that to compete, I need those stuff. If I
yeah.
go to compete right now just with my little flavors, it's not gonna be enough. But I don't know.
Mm.
I was just listening to you and I was wondering like, could it helps to have like a good background and like really dope foundations to have like a longer career? Or I was just trying to compare, but I don't really know.
Yeah, I think so. if you have a good foundation in locking, if you have a good base, you know all the techniques, the moves, you know how to do them, you can always go back to doing them. Let's say you have a career in locking. The first 5 years, 6 years, you learn the basic, and then you start to dance. You do a lot of splits and moves, big moves, and acrobatic stuff. And then you get a little bit older, and it's a little bit more hard to do it. You might get injured a while, and then what you can always do at that point is go back and get down with the funky basics.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
you don't always have to be big or strong or acrobatic, but I mean, as long as you have the basics and you can funk with it, you can always get down. So
Yeah, I was trying to picture someone who got that, but in locking, I didn't find a real answer. But in breaking, you have a perfect example. Is Ken Swift?
yeah, for sure.
Ken Swift.
Yeah.
It's simple as that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Amazing style, amazing foundations. I don't
Hmm.
know how old is it right now, but
Yeah.
it just need to do like a simple move. But because you have these strong tools, that this strong background, this deep style, that it's enough, man. It's
Yeah,
enough to
for
kill
sure.
someone.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And I think dancing is like a good old wine. It tastes better the older the wine gets. It's the same thing with dancing. I mean, if let's say you do a solo now with just basics and compare that to when you did it 20 years ago, it's going to be much more flavor, much more
Yeah, for
funk,
sure.
much
Yeah,
more
yeah.
sweetness, sugar,
Mm.
now than back in the days.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
that's because we age, we get better, we listen to music, we get more cool, calm. It's yeah, it would just
Yeah, and man, the for me the pressure, that's something that I was also talking lately, is like I don't have any kind of pressure right now when I'm dancing,
yeah.
when I'm practicing,
Mm,
and it was not like that at all back in the days. When I
yeah,
had like battles in my mind, shows in my mind, or something to prove in my mind, I
yeah,
was always practicing and dancing under pressure, and
yeah,
in trying to find ways to impress
yeah.
or to convince someone of something.
Mm,
And it reminds me that that video of Rodney Mullen. Is a skater. I don't know if you know him, Rodney Mullen,
yeah.
a
Great
skater.
skater.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
and a dope mind, man. Yeah,
Oh
the
yeah,
guy got a dope mind, and he was talking about some similar stuff, and he was saying that those pressure of competing and all that almost rob him from the pleasure of skating,
yeah, for sure.
the pleasure of enjoying the simple things, like
Mm,
being a practice or just a session or whatever, and just like being in the moment and really enjoying that dance that you love.
yeah, for sure, for
When you're,
sure.
when you're dancing, you're supposed to be like loving that shit. That's your
Yeah,
passion. It shouldn't be
yeah.
like
It's
something wrong. It's like some, yeah, I need to prove, I need to do this, and let's find
no,
some new moves. Maybe with this, I'm gonna have an answer for that guy, or
yeah,
that kind of shit. And now I'm like that.
yeah.
No pressure at all. I don't
No,
give a fuck.
no,
I
exactly.
can I can put like any video I want on Instagram or whatever. I don't give a fuck if it's good or
Yeah,
not for the other
yeah,
people.
yeah.
And suddenly, when I'm watching myself, I feel better.
Mm,
I think I take more time to do my movements. I don't know. I just feel different. I prefer my dance now, actually.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I feel the same way. Yeah, you get older and you get more, confidence in yourself and you're dancing, and it doesn't matter what other people think. If they think it's good, you're happy for that. If not, that's cool. That's no problem. And it's just like I talk to Arvidos about this a lot. You know, when you and me and Jimmy and P Luck, when we meet up at somebody's home, what we do is just dance, just play some good music and get down. You know, and that's what it's all about, having fun. And it's just like being a musician playing guitar.
Mm.
You don't always have to be on the stage to play the guitar. If you find one or two guitar players, you hang out, you know, you play at somebody's home and you play the guitar and you have fun and might sing.
Hmm.
It's the same thing with dancing, you know. And I think that comes with maybe with age, and you're satisfied with that. I'm not saying that, you know, we don't want to go out there and do stuff, compete or whatever, but it's something different now for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I was wondering how I could feel right now in a battle. I have no idea.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know, but I think it will be really different right now.
yeah.
If I decide to do a battle, and I was listening to you, and I was thinking, actually, yeah, man, that's true. Right now, I couldn't care less if someone would say like, ah, that's bullshit. That's not locking. Yeah, Junlak doesn't know.
Mm.
I don't give a fuck, man. I
No,
don't.
no. We're too old. We're too old enough to not care about stuff like that. You
Yeah,
know.
but
It's,
before I did, man. Before I
yeah,
was
of
like, oh,
course.
what? He said
Yeah, yeah,
that. He
yeah,
said I was not
yeah,
doing locking. What?
yeah.
Now
Okay.
what?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, whatever, man.
yeah.
I don't really care, man. And another thing, man. Another thing that I
Yeah,
really wanted to talk with you is about um your locking classes, man.
yeah.
Actually, I don't know if it is because I have once again a martial art background, or uh, I don't know the reason, um, or maybe because I came before that there was like dance classes. I mean, hip hop, locking, popping, breaking
Mm,
classes, and I had to learn in another way, or I don't know the reason exactly, but I never felt comfortable with just teaching routines.
yeah,
It was super weird for me, but
yeah.
that's the way I learned to teach, because before that I didn't know how to teach.
Mm,
For me, teaching was practicing.
yeah,
When I start my classes in my high school,
yeah.
that's when I start teaching breaking.
Mm,
What I did, actually, I just create um, an opportunity for people to practice, but I was not really teaching. I was giving some advices,
yeah, yeah.
but I was not making routines or counting. I didn't know nothing about like 5, 6, 7, 8, or I had no idea.
Yeah,
And then when I learned how to give those type of classes, it was through the way of routines. The
yeah.
guy who showed me that, he was teaching routines,
Mm,
and so I did it for a few years, but man, I never felt comfortable. So right away, I tried to find like drills, and I really had this need to see the students
mm,
dancing by themselves
yeah,
and not copying me,
yeah.
you know?
For sure, for
And
sure.
then, but when I was watching like other classes, everybody was teaching routines.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
were probably the first one that I saw doing other stuff, doing
yeah.
other drills, other exercises. And you had like even more exercises than me, but because my exercises were actually super basics. It was just like
Mm,
a few concepts to help them to feel free and to not feel the pressure of improvising.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
big that's a super big pressure when you ask new students to improvise, to freestyle. Like,
Mm,
okay, now dance by yourself. Oh, what? They
yeah,
freeze. And
yeah,
so I had like a few concepts to help them with that.
yeah.
But that was it. And the other stuff was some kind of kung fu type of repetition and approach.
Mm,
But that's it. But when I saw you, man, I was like, that's the real shit.
Yeah. Thanks.
So yeah, you're welcome, man. But I need to say this because I see too many people teaching all over the world, and compared to you, they're nothing when it comes to methods. No, fuck that, man. I need to be real.
Thank
That's
you, man.
nothing. No, no, man.
Thank you.
That's the truth. No,
I appreciate that.
you don't need to thank me. That's the truth. And it pisses me off to see people teaching all over the world, and just because they won a few battles. I hate that.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
enough. It doesn't make you a good teacher.
No.
Maybe you're gonna have more students, but what are they gonna learn with you at the
Yeah.
end? You know.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't know how you feel about it, man, but yeah.
I feel the same way you feel about it. I think it's fair to say that there's some people out there teaching that might shouldn't be teaching at this moment in their locking career. I also think that everybody wants to make a living out of this, and money comes in and plays a big part in it. But for me, it's always been about teaching and developing and helping others to grow, so the thing with I also did routines. I still do routines, but I stopped and I added some of the that we talked about before, the boxing drills and the boxing methods in my teaching, just to get away from just doing routines, because I felt it was very limiting. And also, I think that you have to put yourself out of the equation of teaching. It's like being a coach more than a teacher.
Mm.
I know in some of the boxing classes here in Sweden, the teachers are participating in the class. They're saying the drills, and they're participating in the class as well, boxing and doing all the stuff. But a coach is more like, I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm going to lay out the plan for what they're going to do, and I'm going to help all of the students in the boxing room with the technique, and I'm going to be there with each and every one of them.
Mm.
And so I took that within in the dancing and the teaching and the dancing too, that taking me out of the equation. And I was meaning, like, instead of doing a routine and me being a part of that routine, I stopped doing that for a while, and then just said, you guys are going to do this, and I'm going to help you when you are doing it. So that's when that is started from, and the boxing techniques. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that you got to put yourself out of the equation and not just doing routines and being a part of that. And I know for a fact that there's a lot of egos too that want to be, up front and follow me.
Yeah,
So
I was about to ask you if you thought that it was an ego thing.
yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I'm not saying everybody is on that
No,
tip,
no.
but some of them for sure is. And yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel that most of them just do that way because everybody does, and they don't
yeah,
know another way of doing it.
yeah,
Uh, but personally, I don't feel comfortable. I don't know
no,
if it's the best way.
yeah,
And sometimes I have almost to convince people that it's possible, man. That is possible because I feel that a lot of them are afraid of losing students.
for sure,
Like,
for
yeah, but
sure,
what do you want me to do? Ask them to freestyle? They
yeah,
will never do it. They will be
yeah,
afraid. It's already tough to teach locking.
yeah, it is,
Then, if you start asking them to freestyle, no, forget about it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so they try to be um, like good sellers,
yeah, for sure,
making a show, creating a good vibe. Let's go,
yeah,
everybody.
yeah,
Those
yeah,
kind of bullshit. But I don't
yeah.
know, man. I don't. For
And
me, yeah. Tell me.
I no, I agree with you. And for me, it was always because I've done a lot of other stuff than just dancing and teaching dance. I work as a chef, and I do a lot of stuff that gets me an income and gets me money to pay the bills. So that means that I don't have to I'm not going to say sell myself, but I can be totally honest with what I can do when it comes to teaching, because I'm not dependent on the salary when it comes to teaching, and I'm not depending on having a lot of students, so I don't have to compromise with what I want to do. If I have a workshop, if you come, that's great. I'm going to do what I think it's best for, teaching locking in a true, honest way. So you don't have to uh, sell out, so to speak. You can be totally honest the way you teach and with what you teach. Since I have another income, so that helped me a lot too.
Yeah, actually, that's my case too. So I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know. Yeah,
yeah.
maybe that's why also I speak like that, because yeah, I don't depend on that. But but even before, when I was just dancing and just teaching, I mean, not I never just I never been in a position of just like having money from dance classes. I was doing shows, judging, and other stuff. But
Mm,
um, when my life was just dancing, I was pretty much the same, because I don't know, man. I come from the
mhm.
streets.
Yeah,
I have the mentality that I have, and I don't take too many bullshits, you know. I
yeah.
don't know, man.
That's why I love you so much, man.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
man, another thing is like um, being proud of your local people, man.
Mm,
I
yeah.
have nothing against internationals or whatever, but when you're organizing an event, man, you you don't need to have someone from whatever. I don't care, like France, Japan, US.
Yeah.
When you have people like, for example, you and Chris,
Yeah.
or in France, Junior. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, because actually I was speaking with Ina about it.
Mm,
You know Ina from Germany.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she was telling me that in Germany, she rarely judge.
Mm,
No one calls her to judge over there,
yeah.
and usually she works more like in other countries. Actually, for me as a DJ, it is exactly the same. Since
Yeah.
I came back to Portugal, I did maybe one party and three
Yeah.
dance events, and that's it. I spin a
Uh,
lot more like in other countries than
mm,
in my own country. That's crazy.
yeah. Yeah.
And that's another thing that pisses me off. Not for me, I don't care. I don't give a shit. But for people like you and Chris mostly, I'm
Mm,
saying you and Chris because you're really like close friends.
yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna talk about other people that I don't really know.
Yeah.
But Chris, man, to be totally honest, when he judged the pay the cost, I don't know if you were there.
No, I wasn't there that
So
year.
pay the cost, but you did judge pay the cost once.
Yeah. Yeah. The year before him, I think it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing is that in pay the cost there is like only one judge,
Yeah.
and we are all different. So everybody got his own opinion, and
For sure.
maybe you're gonna take some decisions that I'm not gonna agree with,
Yeah.
which is perfectly normal.
Mm,
And Chris, man, he was the only one that because I'm saying that because I was not alone. That me, Pilok, Akim, everybody behind the scenes that was pretty much in the staff or organization
mm.
agreed with. No one disagreed with all the Chris decisions.
Okay. Yeah.
And really, from that day on, I was like, "Fuck, this guy is really dope." I really felt him totally like, how do you say, impartial.
Yeah.
Like Italian people don't give a fuck. I'm not
No.
saying the other people are like that, but I was super impressed because I couldn't disagree.
Yeah.
And even if it's you or Jimmy or Pilok. I mean, all my people.
Mm.
Sometimes I'm gonna disagree.
Yeah, for sure.
It's normal.
It's normal.
And so, whatever. My point is that people like you and Chris should travel a lot more, should be sharing a lot more, and it will be really important, not for you, me, or him, or whatever, but for the dance, man, for the
Yeah.
dance.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's another thing that I really needed to say, man. And the guy is dope. The guy is dope.
Oh man, he's funky as hell. He's really good. Experienced. He's really experienced.
Did you dance? Did you ever dance with him?
No, no. I never danced with him.
You need to. Let's do
Yeah, I
something, man.
mean, yeah, we need to do something for sure. For sure.
And
For sure.
how do you feel about the new generation, man? Did you saw
Man,
some good stuff?
yeah, yeah. I can't. I don't know. There's some good people out there coming up for sure. Um, I can't say any names. There's one guy from Brazil. He's getting really dope. Yeah, there's some people. I see some guys from India too. I'll come in. That's fun.
That's
Different
fun, yeah.
countries. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Yeah.
But
As
man,
as
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Tell me.
As long as there's some lockers, preserving the dance and doing it makes me happy. But of course, they need to be good. They need to take it serious and honor the tradition for real. But there's some people coming up. Yeah.
Now, man, you need to give me the secret that you and Rob One had to make such a strong scene a few years ago in Sweden, man. Because you guys did that. It was amazing, like seeing people like A Train, RV, then Mark,
Yeah.
like all that people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what happened back then?
Uh, let me. I need to recharge my batteries. Can we do that and still talk?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. Hold on. I just done one. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. So the story, right?
Yeah, but go a little bit more in the middle again. Try to be in the middle of your.
Hold on. Like this. Here.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
perfect
right.
like that. Yeah.
All right. So me and Rob One started dancing many years ago, and
Stop,
we
stop.
start.
You're not again in the middle. How you do that, man? You're
No
always
wait.
in the corner of your image.
Hold on. Now it's better.
Yeah, just move yourself. Let the phone be.
Okay. This here.
Yeah, perfect.
All
Now,
right. We're gonna stay here.
perfect.
So we started dancing many years ago, and we started teaching at this school in the middle of Stockholm.
Mm.
And he had classes, and I had classes, and then we had a couple of classes together as well.
Mm.
And yeah, we had the young students, Arvidos, Marcus, A Train. They came to our classes and were students for many years. And yeah, that's basically it.
No secret behind it.
Yeah, no secret behind it. Just love for dancing, and they were really hungry. They were really devoted and passionate about learning the dance. And if you have that from the beginning, it's easy to develop.
Did you feel that you just got luck to have like that amount of talents at the same time? Because it's
Yeah,
super rare. I mean, because after that, we didn't saw those kind of lockers over there or
No.
anywhere else. I mean, not like that, like in the same time, like young like that and growing, have like a good career. Can
Yeah.
remember seeing other people like that.
No. No, that was a special time. I mean, it wasn't just me and Rob One teaching locking. It was me, Rob One, Funky Asparagus. He had
Yeah,
classes.
yeah, true.
DJ Prime, he had classes. Damon Frost had classes. So I'd say during maybe 3 or 4 years, there was a lot of locking going on in Stockholm, Sweden, and all of these students they attended all of our classes. So they got good stuff from Rob One, they got good stuff from me, they got good stuff from Funky Asparagus, from Prime and Damon. So it was just the timing of
But
the
see,
development.
there is already a huge difference, man. Because people in other places, from what I know, they
Yeah,
don't go to different teachers. They have like one teacher.
yeah.
Actually, that's a huge problem right now in Portugal. In my
Mm,
point of view, is
mm.
that it's like there is like a clan vibe.
Uh,
They have like their school, and when they bring a teacher to Portugal, the for example, if they hire you to come and teach a workshop here,
mm,
you're gonna get only students from that school. That's it.
yeah,
And for me, that's a huge problem.
it is.
So
It is.
that's a really already a big difference.
Yeah, it is. I really believe that you should train with a lot of people and different people. I'm not saying that you could be uh, faithful or loyal to somebody that, you know, to one guy, one girl. I mean, you can be that, but if you want to develop, try to meet so many people that you can. Everybody has something to teach, and that is something that we did in Sweden. I said go to Funky Asparagus class, because he's really really good at ground moves, for instance, or go take Damon's class because he's really on different rhythms and beats. So we never wanted them to go just to my class or Robert's class. So I think that we something that we encouraged in Sweden.
That's dope, man. That's really
Yeah.
dope, and that's super rare.
And I
That's
think also that goes back to not putting yourself on the front line. It's not about you. It's just about what you can to teach and what you can share to other students. And if you put your ego away and if you put that away, then it's yeah, you can help a lot more people that way.
actually the same shit happens in martial arts and combat sports.
Yeah,
I mean, we have the same problem here. From what I know, people have like their teams and they stay in their teams and they stay faithful to their teams. They have like their coach for like all their lives.
yeah,
And sometimes I feel bad about it because sometimes I really see some fighters that I think that they should change their strategy or their approach. I see the potential.
yeah,
The same thing with dancers actually.
yeah,
Sometimes you see a potential, but they're stuck like with something that's you don't know exactly what it is, but you feel that if they will dance with someone else, it could solve
yeah,
their problem.
for sure, for sure, for sure. I mean, yeah, that's there's some dancers out there that definitely would be in need to train with other people. Absolutely, because you get stuck in one pattern, you get stuck in one way, and yeah, it's the same thing in the martial arts world. You should train with a lot of different people to get a lot of different knowledge and input. That's the way you really evolve, I think.
Mm. Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel the
Yeah,
same way. And yeah, man, I didn't know that. See, I thought that it was you and Rob One, and I
yeah,
didn't know, and that's already a huge difference.
yeah,
and I really respect that. I think that's a good example to follow. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so too.
did you felt that learning with the OGs, like that they were like, yeah, I'm the truth, or not at all?
Uh, with the OGs from the lockers, I never felt, that vibe. Uh, the ones that I've been dancing with or been taught by has always been, you know, upfront and nice, cool guys that they don't want to claim me or anybody else. It's and my mentor Greg Campbell Jr. He was always very open minded and never in that way. So I really took that from him, uh, and being not like claiming people and follow me. I just wanted people to train with so many as possible. But I never felt that from the OGs. I could feel it more from people in the other generation coming up under the OGs. I could feel a little bit more of that sometimes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. Well, if there is someone that I really like when it comes to that is OG Skeeter Rabbit. I feel that he
Oh yeah.
spends more time and energy talking about others, like saying
Yeah.
like this guy did that, that guy
Yeah.
did this,
Yeah.
and he doesn't talk that much about himself. He
No,
cares like too much about the dance to be thinking about himself.
for
He is
sure.
not. I mean, it's like a huge thing, bigger than you. You can feel that when you're talking about him.
Yeah.
I mean, talking with him about locking, you can
Mm.
feel that for him, locking is bigger than him.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
cares
For
about
sure.
locking.
Yeah.
So I really
I
appreciate
really
that.
like
Actually, yeah.
that too. I really like that too. Um, yeah, and he's being correct by being that way. He's being correct by honoring the originals and honoring people and talking about people and talking about the history. It's amazing to have someone like that present time doing that. For the community.
Yeah, it's huge, man.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah, but actually, I must admit that for me it was kind of hard when I had my first talks with Don, because
Yeah,
uh, I felt that he was kind of disappointed with with everything, with the world. And
yeah,
I mean, the first times when he came to Portugal in 2005, he was really sad, man. Actually, he
yeah,
cried. He cried, man, when we talked. When we had like our first big talk,
yeah,
he cried. We were talking, just me and him, and he was telling me about everything. And he started crying. He said something like, "See, that's what you get when you create a dance." And he started
mm,
crying because I felt that he thought that everybody forgot about him, everybody took profit of him, and
yeah,
he was not recognized back then, like in 2005.
yeah,
So it puts him in a position where he had to adjust stuff, like, and
mm,
make like justice. So he was kind of sad and in a certain way mad against a lot of people.
yeah, yeah,
So, but for me, it was a little bit uncomfortable because he was putting me in a position like you were as much as all of them.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like I
yeah,
said in Pilog's podcast too, he told me like, man, after me, it came this guy, this guy, this guy. I mean, everybody came after him,
yeah,
and his theory was like, because you learn with me, you are as much as them. And I was, man, no, I was not there. I mean, and
yeah,
then he was like, no, you had to do your own shit, man. You had to do your stuff. You just need to lock and this. And I was like, and me in my mind, I wanted to learn. I needed
yeah,
to
yeah,
learn and to understand what happened. And because you didn't live that. You were not there in the early 70s. You don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, for sure.
And to be able to understand all of it, you need to learn that.
Yeah,
You need to learn a few moves, and I don't know. And it was, yeah, it was funny, but at the same time I was like, fuck, it was some kind of, I was feeling a little bit of frustration because I couldn't plus my English was a lot worse than this.
yeah,
But yeah, what I'm saying is that I felt I was just a passionate and curious dancer talking with a creator, and I felt in the middle of politics,
yeah, yeah,
and it made me. I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't
yeah,
comfortable. I was not ready for all that mess. I had no
yeah.
idea that a mess like that exists between them.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
So yes, that's why I ask you if you felt, because I know that in the beginning a lot of people were claiming having the truth, the right movements, and we
yeah,
were like trying to find the good information and just trying to dance better.
yeah.
Actually, we like,
And just trying to understand the dance.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was not
That's
easy at the
crazy.
beginning. Yeah, man,
Crazy time
it
though.
was not easy.
But how do you feel now? Like, because it's a progress, you know. You get to a point where you really want to learn. You're really tensed. You want to meet everybody. You're searching for the information. You really, you know, with passion. I want to learn this. I want to meet this guy. I want to meet that. You want to win battles. You want to be good. You want to be all of those feelings and emotions. How do you feel now, coming out on the other side, being like, you know, older as we are, and
Now I feel totally different, man.
yeah,
Like I told you before, I don't feel any kind of pressure, or
yeah,
I don't have any kind of need to impress someone,
yeah,
even
yeah,
them, because before when I met people like that, like the OGs, I was trying in some kind of way to be respected by them and trying to
yeah,
maybe impress them with my dance or with my way of thinking. I don't know. So I was
mm,
trying. Now I don't feel that anymore. I'm just someone that still curious, that
yeah,
loves to talk with people.
yeah,
Actually, that's why I'm doing this, and that loves to learn. And the I met probably all of them. The only two that I didn't met is I didn't met Greg, and I
mm.
didn't met Mr. Penguin.
Oh, okay.
That's the only
But you
ones
met the
that,
rest.
yeah,
Mm.
I met all of them, and probably one of the most interesting moments that I had was the last time that we went to LA with Team Rocket. We were at Damita's place, Damita
Oh,
Joe,
nice.
yeah, and he really changed everything actually,
Yeah,
because she's not in the game. She's totally honest.
she's outside.
Yeah, she doesn't have any interest of like playing, around with stuff and being in politics. She doesn't care. And it was super interesting, man. It was just an exchange between people that have like different stories,
Yeah,
but love the same thing. People
yeah,
that are from different places, so they have stuff to tell to one to another.
yeah,
And man, it was actually it was even for her. I think it was super special because at some point I told her like, you have no idea, but you are like a huge influence for us, and just for you to get a picture of it, uh, in my place when I'm playing around with my daughters, a lot of times I put the video of you dancing with James,
oh yeah, yeah,
and my daughter loves that video.
mm.
That's one of her favorites video to dance with.
Yeah.
So I show her my daughter dancing and copying her. And back then, my daughter was like 2. So for her to see a 2 years old little girl dancing in Portugal, watching her, it's
Mm.
like insane for
Yeah. Yeah.
someone who is out of the game, you know.
Mm.
And it was like magic. It was magic, man. I mean, we were like kids in her place. We were like
For
kids in
sure.
her place. It was. So I feel totally different about it. I don't. First of all, like I told you, I don't care about like the opinion that some complicated people could have about me or whatever.
Yeah.
See, and when I meet people like that, I mean people like the OGs, not people, not complicated people. I'm with a different posture. Uh, I'm not trying to give some. I'm more like we said before about Skeeter Rabbit. I'm more
Yeah.
interested about talking about dance and not show whatever it is about me. You know.
Mm.
So it's cool. It's easier. It's real moments. You know. I don't feel like equal. I don't feel.
Yeah.
I mean, they have their value, and I'm gonna learn forever with them. I just feel more comfortable, man, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoy more. It's different. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it
No,
now?
I feel the same. I feel the same. I don't care what people think. Like I said, if they like it, good. If they don't, that's all right. And I think it comes down to, after this journey of learning and developing and meeting a lot of people, it just come down to you dancing for yourself. That's what it's all about. You dance when you want to, you dance how you want to. You don't care about, if somebody would judge you or think something. It doesn't matter. It's not important anymore. So I feel freedom when it comes to dancing.
Yeah, man.
Excitement, freedom, yeah, fun, talking with friends with body language. So
Yeah,
yeah.
man. That's perfect. Actually, I
Yeah.
never thought that I would be in this kind of position. Actually, I planned my life in a totally different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I thought that I was gonna stop dancing at 30.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have a kid when I'll be 25. Then I will gonna stop dancing when I will be 30,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be focused on recover my body from dance because I felt
Yeah.
that my body will be like completely fucked up,
Yeah.
and I never stopped dancing. I never stopped dancing, and I stopped having these warrior, a battle cat state of mind.
Yeah.
And now like I say a lot of times, is not me missing dancing, or it's my body, man. It's part of me. It's
Yeah.
a way of life. My body asks me to dance. It's not,
For sure.
I don't need to feel motivate or whatever. It's
Wow.
just my body needs to dance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
do it. I'm doing all the time when I'm
Yeah.
cooking, when I'm whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm, I'm
Yeah.
dancing a lot.
Yeah. It's amazing, right? It's cool.
Yeah,
It's a cool
yeah, yeah,
sensation.
yeah. I never thought. For me, dancing was battle. For me, was a
Yeah.
battle. Living
Yeah.
was a battle. Like I told you, I'm from the streets. I came from a really poor family. I
Mm.
had to prove something to the world. I had to prove something to other people all my life.
Yeah.
And it was a fight. Yes, I'm from the street. And what do you want?
Yeah.
I fuck you up. I dance better
Yeah.
than you. you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
always like this. The what and
What?
and that, no, now all that is, I don't know, it's over.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just like chilling, dancing.
Getting.
It feels good, man. It feels so good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice, man. I can't wait till we meet each other and get down. That would be nice
For sure, man.
for sure, man. I
Nah,
remember the last time we spent time in, was it Master Camp the last time you were there?
yeah.
Yeah, that was really good times, man. Had a good talks and good classes, and yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it was really dope, man. Yeah, but
yeah,
now with all this shit happening, I don't know how it's gonna be, man. I don't know how long it's gonna take for this to solve and
yeah,
for us to be able to travel again.
yeah. It's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time, man. But it can be a year maybe from now. I don't know, but we just have to be content with the situation and adapt to whatever happens.
Yeah, man. But
For
when
sure.
it's all done, you guys need to come to Portugal, man. I told you.
Yeah,
I told you already.
absolutely. Yeah, for
Let's
sure.
let's do something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. We come
Yeah.
and visit you.
Cool, man. Cool.
Do something together.
There was something else that I wanted to ask you, but now I can't remember, man. Can't remember.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna keep it for the next episode.
Yeah, for sure. We need to do another episode, man. This was really nice.
Yeah, it was nice. We are
Yeah.
just warming up.
Yeah, yeah. Good, 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 good.
Cool, man. It was nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, brother. It was nice talking to you, and I love you, and take
Love
care.
you
And
too,
we
man.
we we talk soon, huh?
For sure. Stay
All
safe.
right.
Peace.
Okay, you too. Be safe,
Peace.
man.
Peace.
All right.
Bye.
Peace.